Hi, and welcome back to the 1 hour wine sessions, which, because obviously we can't always be present for tastings, what we can do is give you a really good idea about what to expect from a wine bottle just by reading the hints of the bottle and the label and the capsule and the cork themselves. As I've said before, we specifically focus on Portuguese wines. We're based in Lisbon, but a lot of what I say applies generally across the world. So they're not only Portugal-centric hints. Today we're going to talk about red wine, and basically speaking, there are two standard bottle formats for red wine in Portugal. You've got what we call the Bordeaux style bottle with the shoulder, and the Burgundy style bottle with the smooth neck. Okay. Now we're going to start with the Burgundy style bottle, and this wine comes from the Down region. So if you want to have a look at the map and maybe pause the video, you will find the Down region right in the centre of the country, slightly north. Okay. Now, the thing about the Down region is it's actually the highest part of Portugal. That means that it's a cool climate viticulture area. Much in the same way, obviously, that Burgundy is the coolest part of France where red wines can be grown. So the implication of the bottle shape is that you're looking at a more Burgundian cool climate style. So the wines will be a little bit lighter, they won't be quite as intensely coloured, the alcohol will be lower, they'll be less full-bodied, jammy, fruity, but they'll be more elegant, more ethereal, more about delicacy and finesse rather than straight fruit power. This is a fairly standard Down red wine. Nothing remarkable about the bottle, but this one is trying to tell us something, okay? So the first thing, it's taller. It's a non-standard bottle, that's more expensive. You've also got the gold on the label. That makes the label more expensive than if you're printing in flat colours, if you like. And then you've got something else which is curious, and that is that the capsule actually stops below the neck, and you've got a wax seal to protect the cork. So everything about this bottle is the winemaker trying to tell us it's better than standard because we've spent more money on the packaging. And in case you hadn't really got the message, they've stuck a gold medal on it. Now, wine shows are great. They're extremely useful for consumers, for professionals. But one thing I always say is you should really see which is the competition and what is the medal, because there are a lot of wine fairs or wine shows that you pay to exhibit, and you're pretty much guaranteed in return for the cost of showing the wine, you're pretty much guaranteed to get some sort of medal, almost just for participating. This is a gold wine taster from the Portuguese sommeliers, and actually, if you look in the middle, it just says approved. So don't always be taken in by the fact that wine's got a medal. See what the medal is. Now, the other bottle I'm going to show you is what we call the Bordeaux style. Now, Bordeaux is a much warmer climate, so the wines tend to be much riper, bigger in terms of alcohol, in terms of tannins, in terms of the fruit intensity. It's what the Australians call getting bang for your buck. This, therefore, is telling us it's a warm climate wine, and it's used in the two hottest parts of Portugal, again, if you want to pause the map, we'll be looking at the Alentejo, which is in the southeast, it's the largest region, and then the Douro region, which is the medium green little strip along the Douro River inland from Porto, in the northeast. Both inland regions, and because Portugal has a strong maritime influence on the Atlantic coast, the more further inland you go, the hotter and drier it gets. Now, again, you can see that this is a similar style, but it's an upgrade. Okay, so the first thing you notice is the bottle is very slightly tapered. Now, that's clearly a non-standard format, but it also is quite complicated when it comes to labelling, because a tapered bottle is much harder to get a label to stick to correctly without wrinkling. So what they've done, quite cheekily, they've gone for a round label because it disguises the fact that it's very hard to get a straight label on a tapered bottle. The other thing that you can't see, obviously, or you can't see, but I can feel, this is really heavy glass, okay? Heavy glass is clearly more expensive, there's more of it involved in producing the bottle, but it really gives you the feel of quality in your hands. So again, the producer has decided they think the wine is better than standard, they want to upgrade the bottle, they've given it this real weight, and it does exude quality. The only thing I would say is that nowadays people are more concerned about carbon footprint sometimes, or certainly should be, than they were, and these heavy glass bottles are falling out of fashion because they're not considered to be as ecologically conscious as they should be. So it's slightly old-fashioned, but it's, like I say, it's an expensive bottle for an expensive wine. And the other thing, which is going to be very hard to make out, but the bottle is actually slightly taller. It's definitely a lot broader on the shoulder. You'd think it's a bigger bottle. What they've actually done is they've got a very, very deep punt in the bottom, which is obviously sort of taking up space, so the amount of wine is clearly the same as in the other bottle. In the next session, we'll be looking at port. Join us again.